Today, let's talk about something every DIY enthusiast and professional needs. Work gloves, specifically the Dewalt DPG70 EU gloves. Ever tried them?
Absolutely. I've used them on a couple of projects. What surprised me most was how comfortable they are for such sturdy gloves.
Comfort's a big deal, especially for longer jobs. But what about their grip? That's where many gloves struggle.
The grip is actually impressive. The latex coating gives you a really secure hold, even if you're handling slippery tools.
That latex coating is key, isn't it? But sometimes latex can make gloves feel too tight or sweaty. Did you notice any of that?
Not really. The back is made from a breathable fabric so your hands don't get too hot. It's a nice balance.
I've read they're great for general construction and handling small parts. Did you find them flexible enough for detailed work?
They're surprisingly dexterous. I could pick up screws and small nails without taking them off, which is rare for safety gloves.
That's a plus. Nothing's more annoying than having to remove gloves just to adjust a tiny screw. How about durability? Do they last?
For sure. I've put them through some tough tasks, lifting bricks, carrying timber, and they held up without any tearing.
That's impressive. Some gloves fall apart after a week. Did you ever try washing them, or do they get ruined?
I've hand washed mine a couple of times. They dry quickly and keep their shape, which is great for reusability.
Speaking of reusability, are they easy to put on and take off? Some gloves are a struggle, especially if your hands are sweaty.
They slip on pretty easily and the elastic cuffs help them stay in place without being tight. No wrestling required.
That's good to know. Sometimes those cuffs can be too tight and leave marks. How about sizing? Do they fit true to size?
In my experience, yes. Although if you're between sizes, I'd recommend going for the larger one for comfort.
That's good advice. Now, about protection. Do they stand up to minor cuts and scrapes? Or are they just for grip?
They definitely provide some basic protection. The latex helps with small scrapes, but I wouldn't use them for heavy-duty cutting tasks.
Makes sense. So they're perfect for general tasks, but not for those chainsaw-wielding lumberjack days.
Exactly. For most everyday jobs, gardening, construction, warehouse work, they're ideal.
Have you noticed any downsides? Any little annoyances after using them for a while?
Honestly, not many. If your hands are really big, the largest size might still feel snug, and they're not waterproof.
Right, so probably not the best if you're mixing cement or working in the rain all day.
Yeah, they get soaked pretty quickly, but for dry conditions, they're spot on.
How about price? Do you think they're good value compared to other brands?
I'd say so. They're not the cheapest, but given how long they last, you get your money's worth.
That's usually the trade-off, isn't it? Cheap gloves fall apart, but these seem to last.
Exactly. And you're not constantly buying replacements, which saves money and hassle.
What about style? Let's be honest, everyone likes to look a bit cool, even with work gloves.
Dewalt's yellow and black is iconic. They definitely stand out compared to plain brown gloves.
Yeah, you almost feel like a pro just putting them on. Have you ever had anyone ask about them on site?
Actually, yes. A couple of people noticed the brand and asked where I got them.
That's always a good sign. Quality products tend to get attention.
For sure. And Dewalt has a solid reputation, so people trust the name.
Would you say these gloves are good for beginners, or are they more for seasoned pros?
Both, honestly. They're simple enough for anyone to use, but tough enough for professionals.
That versatility is key. It's frustrating when gear is too specialised.
Agreed. These work for everything from yard work to light construction.
If you could change one thing about them, what would it be?
Maybe add a waterproof layer for those rainy days. Otherwise, they're pretty close to perfect.
Waterproof would be a game changer. Until then, I guess a spare pair is the way to go.
Or just keep a towel handy. Sometimes low-tech solutions work best.
That's the spirit. Any final tips for someone considering these gloves?
Don't be afraid to size up if you're unsure, and give them a wash now and then. They last longer that way.
Good advice. I'd add, don't expect them to replace heavy-duty cut-resistant gloves, but for most jobs, they're a great pick.
Definitely. They're a real workhorse for everyday tasks.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the Dewalt DPG70 EU gloves. Any last thoughts?
Just that investing in good gloves is worth it. Your hands will thank you after a long day.
Absolutely. And maybe you'll even look cooler doing it. Thanks for tuning in. Keep those hands safe and see you next time.
See you next time.